I'ma turn on the light 'cause it's dark in here. Ooh, my foot's asleep. I'm okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, yep, I need the bright light because my light vision's not so good anymore. It was, even though I just told a few example stories of how my light vision wasn't so good as a child. How could that be? How could I go from not having great light vision to saying that it's not so good? Well, folks, this is one of the videos where I'm going to talk about a little bit reference to my Luxturna and a little bit of what has happened after 5 years of plenty. A little Bible joke for you there. The years of plenty versus the years of famine. I'm adjusting my iPad here so it doesn't shake too vigorously. Alright, let's see. Where should I start? Let me explain. I'm going to do a brief explanation of what Luxturna is. Luxturna is a gene replacement therapy surgical procedure, one per each eye, where they stick a needle of gene solution in your eye to the retina, and it is supposed to treat the mutated gene RPE-65 that causes RP and Leber's congenital amaurosis. What it is supposed to do is ultimately stabilize the current visual state of a person so they will not go blind until they're really, really old, or maybe not even. In a few patients, especially with significantly low vision or high enough vision to notice, there have been improvements. I will use myself as an example. I got this surgery in 2019. So from 2019 to 2024, I had improved vision. I will explain the had. I had improved peripheral to the point where I was like, ooh, I feel like there's extra eye, even though there isn't. I had improved night and dim vision. I could walk into a store without that eye adjustment thingy, or I could walk and get the mail at night without going, I hope I don't trip on something. Oh, there's a speed bump. Oh, there's a rock. Oh, this. And also the peripheral helps with that too. I had improved acuity, especially my left eye. I could see 20/40, 20/30. I'll get to the right eye in a minute, because something happened there. Upper peripheral, right peripheral. I had better color vision. I could identify pastel colors. They didn't just all look green or yellow or white or whatever color they look like under certain lighting. I could identify dark blues. I could identify dark greens. I could identify the difference between black and like purple, and black and dark green, and black and blue. And black and blue are still hard for normal sighted people. And let's see what else. I feel like I had less flashers and floaters. I think my eyes could focus without that stigmatism where the eye goes, ooh, ooh. It focuses in and out. Not on its own, it just happens. I think it happens when my eyes are tired, when they're focusing really hard. Like, I can make the 4 on my iPad look blurry, and now it's clear, blurry, clear, you know that. I don't know. It's hard to explain that one. So I had all these improvements, and the doctors were not expecting me to have the near perfect night vision and the peripheral vision, and even the color vision and contrast vision was included too. I could see cool things like more raindrops in the window at night. The little tire tracks that tires leave behind the car in the rain and in the slush of the winter. I could see more details. I could see when things were coming at me, how far cars were away from the road perpendicular to us in the intersection, stuff like that. I said I had. I didn't know it at the time. My senior year at Gordon College, some weird small things were starting to happen. I'm walking down the quad, down the straightaway to the chapel on a sunny, beautiful day. I think this was the fall semester. Going up the stairs like I normally do to go to chapel because it's a Christian school, so we have church basically. I walk in and I'm like, ooh, it's a little dim in here. 10, 9, 8, etc. My eyes finally adjust when I get to the sanctuary. I thought nothing of it, just like, okay, it's just a bright sunny day. My night vision's near perfect. My eye adjustment vision is near perfect. The Lux Turner didn't cure the fact that my eyes have to adjust from lighting. And 2020s sighted people, they do it a little too. You just don't talk about it. Because unless you have someone with a visual impairment, it just doesn't cross your mind. And then later, I'm exiting one of the buildings from a night event. Not a class, it was a night event. And I'm walking to the quad. I'm on one of the sides. I'm about to reach the path in front of some other buildings to hit the straightaway to the chapel parking lot where my parents are waiting. And I'm like, ooh, it's a little dark. The lamp posts aren't on this side of the quad right now. And there's no light in the gazebo over there. There's a lot of dark bushes. Ooh, it's a little tricky to navigate. I can see the sidewalk a little, but why am I not seeing it so good? I thought nothing of it. I thought maybe the lighting was off that night. Though that part of the quad can be very dark, and I'd navigated it before. A year prior, I was walking it like nothing. So that was happening. It was weird. More little things like that happened throughout senior year, Gordon. Little things. I noticed when I took walks around the science building, and when I exercise, so I did every floor. When I came back down the stairs, it was hard to distinguish where the steps were because they didn't have the yellow lines, and they had this fancy rocky design. It's like, whoa, what's the difference between step 1, step 2, and step 3, 4, and 5? Oh my goodness, having a little trouble walking down here. I better get the railing. Huh, that's weird. That's really odd. I don't think anything is wrong. I think maybe my vision's not as perfect. Lux Turner wasn't supposed to cure anything. And then there was one time where I was on the chapel stage, and the whole front of the stage is stairs. It's just like 6 stairs. And the thing about the wood is it's this shiny, glowy, glossy wood. So if you have normal vision, you can see where all the 6 steps are laid out in front of you. But since I never had good depth perception, and Lux Turner didn't help the depth perception much, I think it helped it a little. I'm like, ooh, I can see where 3 of the stairs are, but the top 3 stairs, I kind of struggling to see the edge of the stage where the first stair happened. And I was getting nervous. I was getting anxious. I was freaking out because I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get down? I can't get down. So I used my toe to feel where the stairs were. It's hard because I have a shoe on. So I'm using the front of my shoe. And I figured it out, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I must look like an idiot. Okay. I didn't have good depth perception. I struggled with depth perception working with the kids ministry and like playing with the tennis ball or baseball or something. Okay, that's all right, but this is freaky. And then actually there was one time I was on the same stage and the lights were dimmer, and I could get down, and I'm like, okay, it's light sensitivity and depth perception. So I thought nothing of it. Then I moved to Manchester. I got a job at a church called One Church. And little things were happening. Eye adjustment, walking in to church buildings from the light. I'm like, well, my night vision's just not perfect. I bumped into the support beams that were holding up the second floor balcony of the main hallway. There's like a balcony cafeteria area on the second floor. I'm like, oh my gosh, the floor is gray and the beam was gray. Okay, depth perception, not perfect. I guess my peripheral wasn't 100% either. I thought it was the mask and COVID that was restricting my peripheral, but maybe not. And I couldn't use the keypad of the resident house. I had to have my own key. Because the sun shone on it and gave it a glare, and the numbers were really dim. So I'm like, okay, my dim perception vision. Now my glare vision's not so great. Okay, I'm realizing some things about the Lux Turner treatment that the Lux Turner treatment didn't cure. Going out at night was okay. The city was well lit. Church parking lot was well lit. I'm finishing up giving out the communion cups. One Thursday, we had Thursday service, midweek kind of thing. I was finishing. The girls that I was trying to befriend, I'll tell you about that later, went ahead of me into the sanctuary. The service was already started and the opening song was going. Because, when you're giving out stuff to people, some people are late, so you go in after the first song. I'm going in. I see them ahead of me, like 100 feet away ahead of me. I'm like, whoa. How you girls doing that? It is super dark in here. It is super freaking dark in here. I'm like, oh, well, my night vision's not perfect, so whatever. And I end up 2 rows in front of them. I tried to, sit in the same row as them. I'm like, oh, my God. What the hell? How did I end up 2 rows ahead of you? Oh, my gosh. And then there was this one where I kind of put in the back of my mind for a while. But when I look back at this memory, I think I knew something was wrong. My parents thought it was stress. They thought I was tired. They thought I was just getting used to being on my own. We went to this pool party. It was around that 4th of July time. A week before 4th of July, we went to this pool party. One of the girls' houses. They lived in a few towns over. They wanted to live in the residence house, but their parents were involved in the church, so we had this pool party. Once we were done in the pool, we went back in, got a few snacks, sat on the porch, lemonade, all that stuff. It was getting dark out. The sun was going down. It was practically dusk. We were talking for a little while longer, and by the time we were done, it was pitch. It was pitch black dark. So I'm like, okay, her driveway is really, really long from the street. You had to go through probably used to be a forest, but you had to go up this long, really long driveway. So I'm like, okay, it's dark. It must be lit. It must be lit up. Because it's dark for everyone. I have near perfect night vision, so it's going to be dark for everyone. So we leave. I have no concern. I don't have any of that night blindness anxiety, the visually impaired anxiety that I've had for years about these kind of situations. So we exit the house. Not even 5 feet. I'm not even 5 feet away from the last step of the house, which I did have issues going down steps that were the same color as each other. Because, again, the depth perception, the light sensitivity. At this point, it wasn't just that. I had limited peripheral. I knew that my peripheral wasn't perfect. So it was just like that. I was justifying it. I'm like, okay, my vision's just not as perfect as I thought. Not even 5 feet. I look ahead of me. I see nothing. I keep walking. I'm like, I can't see. And I hear everyone else. I hear a lot of the girls, a few of the guys that were gathering, a few of the residents. They're ahead. They're walking down the driveway. to get back to the cars. And I'm like, how are they doing that? I know my night vision's not perfect, but it's close to perfect, right? I get my phone light on, thinking, okay, my phone light will illuminate the ground, because that has worked before. It wasn't illuminating. It was so dark. The light of the house was far enough behind me where it's like, no, it wasn't illuminating. I'm like, I can't see. I mean, I kind of have a relative idea where the driveway is versus where the forest begins, but I wasn't confident because it was my first time there, and it was my last time there, and I can't see. Thank God one of the twin boys who was in our resident house, there was a couple twins, one of them was super sweet, he helped me. And I explained to him, hey, I had a history of visual impairment. I think I'm still getting used to my vision. But I cried. Cried on the way home. I tried to cry quietly because we were carpooling. I was with a bunch of girls. I didn't want them to know I couldn't fucking see, and couldn't friggin' see, and I was a freak. Oh God, I just swore. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to swear. This one gets me. This is the worst experience. It's a nail in a freaking coffin. So I'm crying. Chloe had to get gas. Chloe was the girl driving us. She had to get gas. I'm like, you are not getting gas. No, you do not need gas because I'm going to have to cry even quieter because the car engine will be off. The air conditioning will be off. The sounds that was muffling my tears. I'm like, I had to cry quieter because y'all don't know what just happened to me. I thought I was doomed. If it weren't for one of the twins, I wouldn't have gotten to your freaking car. They didn't know because I didn't tell them and because they just thought I was just far behind talking to someone probably. No! So that went by, felt like a year. But we got home eventually, still crying. Got in the house. They opened the door. I didn't open it. Sometimes I let them open it because we're just all filing into the house. I bolt to my room. I don't run. I kind of walk fast, just walking confidently. I'm just gonna go in my room, get ready to shower and stuff. But they don't realize I was bolting. I was bolting to my room. I cried, called my parents. My parents thought it was stress. My parents thought I was just tired, getting used to working full time at a church and just getting used to being on my own. No. Dude, I cried in the shower too. I cried a lot. There were other experiences when I was in New Hampshire. It took me until October, same year, to realize, oh crap, those memories, as I'm processing, my vision was changing. My vision was changing. Every month on the dot. Let's do a April-May comparison. There is a Panera in a mall nearby my house. Last month in April, I went into the Panera. I had to adjust my eyes a little bit because it was sunny. It took my eyes 15 seconds to adjust. That's a little worse than a sighted person. They do about 5 seconds. This month in May, I went to this Panera yesterday. It took my eyes 30 seconds to adjust. That's one example of how my vision has changed. So the things with my peripheral, my night vision, my depth perception, and some of my color and light sensitivity that were happening at Gordon and that were happening in Manchester and that have since been happening on the dot every month up to now have been a visual decline in my vision. Lux Turner, you treat the mutated gene. I thought treat the gene, treat the eye. Turns out they've discovered 20 to 30% of Lux Turner patients, when they treat the gene, they treat the central vision of the eye. not the full eye. I'm not too happy about that, but what am I supposed to do? I can't blame the doctor. I can't shoot the messenger. I can't even blame God because this is what was going to happen. I'm not happy. I can be pretty mad about it. But here is an encouraging scripture that we can read with all this in mind. And walk in the way of love, just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. Jesus definitely understands what we're going through, whether you have had the generation of the past, are still experiencing it, or it's starting to happen, or it's still fairly new, or even if you're out there and you had a surgery, it improved, and then it declined again. He definitely understands that. He gets that we're sad, we're angry, we want a cure, or we're on the journey to acceptance and we still have our days. On that hand, but on the other hand, he gave up his life and he died and he got nailed to a cross, beaten, tortured, mocked, so we could believe in him, have a relationship with God again. Though we sinned, we can have a relationship because he paid the ultimate price for the fact that we sinned. We sin every day and we will keep struggling with sin. So that should be encouraging. I hope it is, because it's a struggle sometimes for that to encourage, especially when I am more aware of the fact that the vision I had for 5 years has faded every month. But Jesus died for me and for all of us, so we can have a relationship with God. And when we get into eternity, our vision will be so fantastic that this will be a distant memory. So, if this was relatable or helpful to you, please share, because when you share, YouTube shares it with more people. And this was a good video for you to relate to, or you to understand and process yourself, give it a like, because when you like the video, it gets pushed out to more people. And if you want to see more videos and check out the whole channel for more relatable videos, subscribe and you'll get to see more, and that will push the channel out to more people. And don't worry, I don't swear in the other videos. I swore like once in this one. The least I say is ass. And if you want to hear about the videos as soon as possible and get the latest, greatest videos on your time, whenever you want, ring the notification bell so you can see more relatable videos and just see another visually impaired person out in this corner of the internet who gets it and can put to words what we all go through. So that's it for today. Until next week, goodbye, and thank you very much.